What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Extra Yard. My name is Michael Christian. I'm joined by Kai-Chen Chisholm and Juan Cardona. As always, do want to let you guys know there is a new 3 yards per carry coming out tonight, so make sure to look for that on all the podcast places you have. There's also a new 5 on the floor that just came out. That is a big deal. We saw the Harden trade to the Nets. We saw the trade to Houston. A lot of moves in the NBA. What are the Heat going to do to respond to it? We are not the guys to tell you what they're going to do. Go listen to Ethan, Alex, Adam, all those guys over there. So make sure to check out 5 on the Floor and 3 yards per carry, a new podcast. But guys, here we are. It's the end of the year. You know, we've already kind of started wrapping up. But what are you guys thinking? What's the thought process, man? We're in the playoffs and we're not there.
It's I mean, I like how you're being nice about it and you know, talking about the playoffs with being positive, with all the noise, if we're gonna be polite about it, surrounding this team and honestly, this week has been one of the longest weeks as a Dolphins fan.
It's only Wednesday, Juan.
It's only Wednesday, Kai. It's crazy.
Wait, are you mentioning a specific Miami Herald report?
I was gonna say, are we gonna? We didn't put that in the show notes, but are we gonna, you know, because listen, man, I know that Lewis and Ethan, shout out 5 Reasons Sports Show on Onside Radio. They talked about it today. Lewis' son was in studio with Ethan from 11 to 12, and you can find that on Onside Radio and the podcast and all that stuff. But I know they were talking about it, and we were all saying, yo, Ethan's being really coy, not, you know, saying any names for some stuff.
Very political.
You know, it was a real,
as always.
Listen, I think the best way to put that is like, I think it was Houts that said it best, but obviously it's not what it was. But he was like, listen, I don't care what any practice squad player has to say about Tua in his rookie season. Obviously, I think everyone can guess on their own that, like,
only guy, it's Reed Sinet. It's obviously
I think everyone can guess on their own that it wasn't a practice squad player, but like I don't even think that we should give it too much time of day, and that's why we didn't put it in the show notes, because who the hell is this dude anyways? You know, like,
we didn't put it in the show notes, and yet here we are talking about it, guys. So this is your fault. I blame.
It's because it's been a long week.
No, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Yeah. It's been a long week.
And to everybody watching, I apologize for Kai and Juan. Okay, we're gonna move on. So the first thing I want to go over, we're just going to talk about the Madden ratings. I was doing a weekly update on that and just kind of tweeting it out as it went and showing how the players did from week to, you know, what changed. But now I'll go ahead and share my screen. What we're going to look at is just kind of how the players moved from the start of the season to the end. So this doesn't line up technically with if you went to like the Madden ratings site. They call what I call the end of the season week 17. But I looked for it before they got into the game. So the week 1 numbers you see is before that first game, not after. Some of the biggest risers, you've got Jason Sanders going up 12 points. He's an all-pro for his team.
Brand.
Best kicker in the league. He's the best kicker in the league, right? Except for maybe.
How did he start as a 72? That's.
Well, Madden in general doesn't value kickers and punters. I think like the only time there's been twice where like they've been like super highly rated. I think McAfee was a 99 before he retired, I think once. And that's when they were like really outlandish with ratings. And I think Tucker might be like in high 80s, I believe, as well. Yeah. Michael, but correct me if I'm wrong. But like he's the only kicker that I would ever see in like that range. Cody Parkey was that high after he had that good year with us. And then he went down after, you know, but they don't really value kickers and punters.
Yeah. Well, and we can say Jason Sanders didn't really have the best of years before, right? Like Sanders was a good kicker, but he wasn't what he is now. Right. Solomon Kinley moved up 10 points. I mean, he went from a 60 to a 70 overall, which is a huge jump for him. A lot of the offensive linemen did move up. I mean, you'll see Eric Flowers went up 1 point. Who else? There's much. Robert Hunt went up 6. He's up to a 71 now.
BBG.
But the most important player that got some rating increases is absolutely Xavier Howard, excuse me, going from an 82 to a 90. He's finally at a 90, which is good to see, but
these are only 90, right? Like
the next highest player. So like this section over here is everybody that just didn't move. Like the next highest players.
So according to Madden, our 2 best players would be in order. It would be X, Iron, and then who would be third?
Gesicki. I think Gesicki's third. Where's he at? Yeah, Gesicki's at an 85. And then Parker is at an 84. I mean, interesting. Kyle Van Noy went down 5 points overall from week 1 to the end of the season.
The Albert Wilson and Alan Hearns going down, even though they didn't play.
Yeah, see the field. That was weird. Interesting one with Raekwon Davis and Tua Tagovailoa.
That
They
didn't
both
move
had
an inch.
zeros, but Raekwon went down to a 73 like immediately, and then came back up to a 74. And Tua went up to a 74. I think it was after the Cardinals game, and they bumped him back down to 73. Probably after what was it? I think it was the Broncos. So these ratings are kind of all over the place, and they're not the best. But what can we do about it? Madden isn't going to respect the Dolphins.
But, just to give, I guess, Madden a little bit of credit, I would agree that our 4 best players would probably be in order be X, Byron, Gesicki, and DeVonta. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to ignore the brand, but yeah.
I was just about to say that. You're going to be our certified brand officer, bro. You're going to handle all the brand stuff.
Like, this is all the players in order.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, what is it? We have 8 players above an 80.
Eric Rowe being an 81 is criminal, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that Madden, even Ogba being an 82 is also kind of criminal. Although, I guess also in their defense, even though EA produces a horrible game every single year, in their defense with the ratings, they did make a good move in making the ratings more balanced, because even liking the brand, there's no reason why there should be a 99 punter in the game.
Hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and say the ratings aren't balanced. Listen, I played the computer. I'm not the best.
But you
Madden
get what I mean, though.
I'm not the best Madden player ever, right? I'm never going to say that. But I know what I'm doing. I should be able to beat the computer no matter what difficulty. Listen, the Chiefs were impossible. No one kept up with Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes threw a pass from one sideline to the other.
You gotta get those Mat 10 sliders. What are you doing, Mike?
No, it's garbage sometimes.
Were you playing all pro, or what were you playing?
No, I was playing all Madden, dude.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get those sliders, bro.
Because then they start forcing you to fumble, even though you didn't actually fumble. Listen, all Madden is dumb, but that's just kind of the way the ratings went.
They did. It's good that they did some of those things and making them not so highly rated all the time. There's certain things where there needs to be some sort of parity, and I think the only credit I will give Electronic Arts is the fact that they did tone down the ratings, because
you had to use their government name just to point it out.
Yeah,
you forgot Incorporated, Electronic Arts Incorporated.
Yeah. I know that personally, I think there's really good Madden YouTubers that do things the right way and make things interesting, and then there's also YouTube other people that do the content and people that play it professionally. It's not their fault, but the game is just horrible, and everything about it. It's true. It just is.
Nice.
The game is bad.
If you watch Madden YouTubers, they spend so much time complaining about the game. Every other video, they're just this is garbage. Come on, EA, what are you doing?
The most popular Madden YouTuber is a dude named MMG, and he's a meme in general. And every single video he posts, he has to say something about EA. Yeah. It's just it's every single time, because how can you not create a quality product? Even FIFA was so bad for so long, and FIFA 21 is not that bad. Yeah. It's so much better than what they were. And you could see when they released it, wow, they actually listened to the people that buy their game for once.
I mean, here's the part about all of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep buying the game. So
I have that all access pass.
So 22 and 23. I'm going to buy probably all of them until I have kids, and then I buy it for my kids. And
I'm gonna buy the edition that Tua was on the cover. So I'm waiting for that one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's some touchy.
Might be on the cover of Texans jersey.
Yeah, it could be Deshaun, bro.
Let's go ahead and move on. So the next thing we want to talk about, we want to do some OC talk, right? We just wanted to talk about what we're doing. So Gailey is out the door. You guys are both ecstatic about it. I mean, he was a little too old to still be in the NFL.
He gets to go enjoy his retirement. He gets to go walk Boca Mall and be a mall walker. So it's exciting for him and for everybody else.
A mall walker? You make it sound like he's a zombie. But we got to look at alternatives, right? I know that they just said that they're starting the interview process, or they were going to start the interview process this week, but there haven't been any names announced, right? So what are some options you guys are looking at for the offensive coordinator position? Juan, we'll start with you.
So I'm gonna give you guys my top 3 options, and then I guess I'll break it down kind of quickly. So for me, it's gonna be Godsey, option number 1. So he's an ex-quarterback, so he has seen what Tua has seen. So he's played at a collegiate level. He's played at Georgia Tech. He actually had a starting job in 2000. So he has more or less experience with the quarterback position. He's also last year he led the tight ends to their best statistical year ever for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So he has a little bit of kind of momentum going for him. And then also he's a Flores guy, and we saw what happened with the debacle with Robbie Brown, where he didn't give up the quarterback room and he kind of just led throughout the rest of the way. My second option is an outside one, but it's kind of like my more interesting one, and it's Anthony Lynn. Just because of his work with Herbert, he has a strong belief in the run game, and he also has the kind of like the I guess we could say the experience to not let Flores worry on offense, right? So it's like that McVay slash what's it called, Wade Phillips type of job. So I kind of like that, and the minority thing kind of still plays a role into it. Where also Pep Hamilton, just because he also was a quarterback coach for the Chargers and the work he did with Herbert, but also because he worked with Andrew Luck. So I'm just looking for like a quarterback experienced coach who could really, really hone in on Tua and kind of build an offense around him.
Right. Kai, who do you got?
My thing is, and I don't know, did we ever get to because as far as I was concerned not that I was concerned, as far as I knew, in order to coach the Senior Bowl, you had to have a complete staff. So if they're going to coach the Senior Bowl, and that's in a week and a half, if I'm not mistaken,
through like 2 weeks,
or
I think?
2 weeks,
like
something like that.
Yeah.
2 weeks, a week and a half, which signals to me that it's probably going to just be God's seat, unless they already have someone tapped and that they know who they're going to bring in. If I had it my way, just because of what he did with Josh Allen, I would just get Ken Dorsey. Like,
I just want him because he went to University of Miami. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because he, like, obviously Allen did a lot of stuff on his own, and he did what you would want your franchise quarterback to do, which is go out into the offseason and improve and say, like, admit, like, right now I'm not as good as I can be and improve, and he did that on his own. But the work that Dorsey and Dable were able to do with him, Dable's probably going to get tapped for a head coaching job, so Dorsey will probably get moved to OC. Right. But if that didn't happen, like, I would love to have that kind of happen and Dorsey come and be the OC here. But it's probably going to be Godsey, in my personal opinion, unless they have someone tapped.
Right.
But then we would probably know something by now.
I will say, I think if it was Godsey, I do believe they would have just said it, right? I think they would have just come out and said, and they wouldn't have mentioned the interview process.
They still have the thing is, they still have to do the Rooney Rule. They still got to hire a minority candidate to fill that. So it's
they have to interview.
Weird.
They have to interview.
Yeah, they interview someone.
Yeah. So but then you could get
also
around that too.
They would announce the interviews. It's
always can't you just interview Eric, the running backs coach? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Stutzville? That would count towards Rooney Rule, right? And of all the teams that's doing something purely for Rooney Rule reasons, I think this is probably the last one.
No, yeah.
I was about to ask this question though.
And did they didn't go through interview process last year for offensive coordinator?
That's I don't think it's for coordinators.
Yeah, because when they did Gailey, they just brought him in. There was never any interview process announced.
I think you're right. You're right.
I feel like if it was going to be Godsey, they would have just done it. You know what I mean? Like, why?
It's just weird because unless they're thinking that someone else is going to get fired, because then that's the only thing that makes sense, in my opinion. Right. Like, if they think that there's someone that's a head coach that they could tap that's going to get fired, but, like, I mean, what are you going to do? Bring in, like, Doug Peterson could easily get another coaching job if he really wanted to this go around. So
not in the NFL, I don't think. Maybe the Jets. Probably. Hopefully the Jets, if anything. I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, Rap Sheet had mentioned a few days ago that is a possibility. Like, when he had gotten fired, it was like there is a chance that he'll get a head coaching job.
Well, and he loves getting ice cream after meetings, and we all remember that really famous Rex Ryan, let's get a freaking snack quote. Yeah.
So I mean, unless you're gonna tap him, but then even with Anthony Lynn, like, these guys aren't, like, Anthony Lynn was bad as a head coach, and there were some things that you didn't necessarily like, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to learn and, grow and adapt and learn from that situation and then go out and get another job. And you either bring in another coordinator or you keep the same language and you promote someone else from within. So it's like, do you want to keep having this constant cycle with one of those head coaches that got fired, or do you want to just tap in Godsey, or do you really have a guy like Anthony Lynn or someone that's already kind of there that we have no idea about? That's one of the good things I think out of all this is as much as we would want to know, nobody knows anything.
Right.
Like,
but then if
the
you tap
Dolphins are
Godsey
doing
too,
a good job.
If you tap Godsey too, you're keeping a lot of Gailey's
The
system.
You're keeping
Yeah.
you're keeping the same terminology and the same
But
language.
it's not just the terminology,
It's
right?
not going to be called the same way.
It's not going to be called the same way. So then what we're saying is the problem wasn't Gailey's
and you want
system,
creativity as well.
Gailey's play calling, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying if we're okay with Godsey. And it feels like everybody was not happy with his system. So I don't know. That's where I'll say, like, I will say Finn's doc mentioned this. I wouldn't be opposed to Brian Schottenheimer. I really wouldn't. He worked with Russell for a while.
Yeah, but
That's a pretty fun system. Like, why are we just going to run off of that? I think the team could use a different system. I do agree that Gailey's could work, but I don't think it was to his strengths.
It needs to be something, which is crazy because remember when he had gotten hired, we were like, a lot of people were saying like, he's not the perfect guy for Tua, but hey, if they do draft Tua, you know, he's done a lot of stuff that would be very useful for stuff that Tua's done at Alabama, where it could be good to integrate it, although it's more of a Fitzpatrick type of thing. So it was like, it wasn't the worst hire in the world.
Right.
It just turned out so poor for whatever reason, however things ended up shaking out. I think that one of the things that like is super apparent with the offensive coordinator search is like, again, you just have to find someone with some creativity, and you have to find someone that like is going to be able to use whatever weapons we end up getting. And I know we're going to get into that talk in a little bit, and especially once Juan's internet comes back from the dead. But like there
His
has
internet
to
is reliable as your camera battery.
listen here, bro. Listen, chill. My camera battery is completely fine. All right. It's at 100% right now. So I think that you just have to find someone that's creative, and you have to be able to use Tua's strengths. I know a lot of people have been saying, and I think it's recycled, and it was in that stupid article today. It's like, you know, there's nothing. The only thing is, the only thing we have is his accuracy. And it's like, okay, but you can't, like, you can get better at it. Like Josh Allen got much better at it. He did, you know, it was a way better for Josh Allen, and he improved that stuff. But it's like, you can't teach some of the touch and the accuracy that Tua has. Like some of that you just can't. He's like, that's like your, I'm not religious, but that's your talent, like your given talent. And so it's like, at some point you have to find someone that's creative, and you have to be able to think. Like another thing with Anthony Lynn is he really going to, you know, there was a lot of stuff in his offensive system with the Chargers that wasn't that great. And there was some conservative things that he had and some things that was a little too much. But will he do that as an OC, or, you know, like there's
I
always.
just think we need a change of pace. I think we need somebody a little bit more exciting and somebody more knowledgeable. That's where I say go out there, get a better offensive coordinator that has a history of calling plays, because I don't think Godsey has that, especially because as much as Brian Flores wants to say that he's not a defensive coach and that he's a football coach, he is a defensive coach, right? Like there's no way around it. Like, and I want him to hire a guy, and I think I heard this on the Locked On Dolphins podcast, or maybe it was 3 yards per carry. I heard it somewhere else. I want Flores to hire a guy whose offense he can't figure out, right? Whose offense he says, that's not what I want to play against, right? So if he can go out and do that, I think that would be best. But, I mean, we just got to see what the options are really going to be when they open up, because at this point, we haven't heard any names come out other than Godsey. Everything else is just kind of speculation at this point. So we're going to move off of speculation on the offensive side, and we're going to move more towards even more speculation, but this time with the wide receiver position, right? So we're going to do a complete wide receiver preview today. We're going to talk about the players on the Dolphins right now and who we want to keep and who we're going to let walk. We're going to talk about the free agents that are available and who we'd want to go after. Again, cap is always flexible, in my opinion. You can always figure out a way.
Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs had $500,000 in cap space and signed 3 different people to max deals.
Right. Money.
So I'm not worried about people saying, oh, we don't have enough money. They can find a way to make it, right? You restructure deals, you do signing bonuses, you cut players, you'll figure it out. And then lastly, we're going to go over the draft, especially a specific wide receiver who completely went off this year, right? Heisman winner DeVonta Smith.
Slim Reaper.
So Slim Reaper might be a Dolphin. Hey,
That's a good one.
who knows?
I haven't heard that one yet.
So let's go ahead with the current wide receivers. Currently on the roster, we have DeVonta Parker, Preston Williams, Mac Hollins, Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson, who didn't play this year but is coming back next year. Alan Hearns, Bowden. I forgot his first name all of a sudden. I'm a horrible Dolphins fan. Lynn Bowden. LBJ. Yeah. Malcolm Perry and Isaiah Ford. Any other wide receivers don't really matter. I think there was one more that came up that didn't really matter. Of those guys, Callaway's garbage. Go back.
2 catches, 20 yards, bro.
He just got signed by the Chiefs. He's going to get a ring this year. I'm telling you.
Dude, for sure. That's some crazy stuff.
I just listed how many guys was that? 1, 2, 3, 4,
6.
6.
I mean, listen. This one's gone right here. That one's gone.
You keep 4. Okay,
is gone.
Well, let's give a number. You keep 4. Who are the 4 you keep? Juan, give me your 4.
So my 4 is DVP, Preston, Lynn Bowden, and then one spot for either Perry, 19, or Wilson. Maybe 2 spots depending on how we do with free agency, because I have a couple maybes targets and I have a couple definite targets that I would want to go for.
Right.
But just as far as who I'd want to keep, it would probably be for sure DVP, Preston, Lynn Bowden, and in between Perry, 19, or Wilson.
And I'm going to pick on you just because you're our film guy, because you watch more film than either of us, because I try, but it's just difficult sometimes.
6? Keep 6?
I mean, you can keep 6. You can keep 6 and then just cut whoever you want, right? But we're thinking about who's actually going to make it. Of those guys, right? People talked a lot about Parker not really meshing with Tua, him not being the same play style that Tua likes. You watched a lot of that film, and there was that one game he had with Preston, and that was about it. Do you think that Parker has a long-term place on this team, or do you think that we might or should be looking to move him soon?
So long-term is kind of relative, right? Because what does he have, like a 3-year deal left? So
and his contract is extremely
team friendly. Yeah, it's extremely team friendly, right? I would say that I would love DVP as a second option, right? If he's a second option and I can rely on him just after my one guy is double teamed and go to him, that's great. I can build an offense around him being my second option.
Right.
Where it starts to give us issues is where DeVonta is our first option, Preston is our second, Lynn Bowden and so on start to move up the totem pole to where a lot of those players can't really handle that amount of snaps, because of one, experience, and 2, like just little nuances like running a certain route to a certain length or a certain depth and stopping it short and not getting the first down. I definitely saw a lot of that, and even week 17. You saw a lot of not Jakey, I don't say his name, but I saw a lot of Ford, Isaiah Ford. He was telling people how to line up. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, this dude wasn't on this team 2 weeks ago. How is he telling Lynn Bowden Jr. where to line up and on
So
ball,
then isn't that
ball?
an indictment on your boy LBJ?
I think that's more of an indictment on my OC.
Really?
My OC had 17 weeks.
Yeah, it's both of them for sure.
Yeah.
It probably is a little bit.
I think Lynn
sure.
Bowden definitely has a future on the team. I think it's crazy to think that he doesn't. I wanted to bring this up just to, like, again, go through the Parker thing. Like, I know Jakari is one of those here that is extremely anti DeVonta Parker.
No, he's not. Hold on. I'm going to come in and defend Jakari here. He's not so much anti DeVonta as he's willing to trade him. He's willing to trade him. There's a difference. We're all willing to trade Tua. So,
but like, if you're telling me that I can at least get, like, what was the production that he had? Like, it wasn't great, but like 793, he was injured. It wasn't the best year in terms of the Dolphins offensively. You know, he'll probably come back to better stats, but you can give me that at 7.7 mil. Like, listen, man, that's not that bad. Like, if they want to, they can get out now, and there's really no issues. But like, that's not that bad.
The thing with Parker
that's a great deal.
The thing with Parker is we're already so down at the wide receiver position. It's hard to get rid of a guy who has performed.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I mean, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and DeVonta Parker is your best wide receiver by
and you're trying to strip him out. I don't think it's the most logical thing to do.
I would be willing to trade him if we get certain free agents or I feel a certain way about the draft, right? If I'm the Dolphins and I feel a certain way about it, then I'm more willing to trade him. But we can get more of that in a second. Kai, who are the 4? We said 4 wide receivers?
I mean,
who are the 4 that you're 100% you're going to keep them? They're going to be here next year.
Does Mike Gesicki count as a tight end?
Nah, bro. He
no.
the tight end room
Mike
meetings.
Gesicki's in the tight end room. He doesn't count towards his depth chart.
All right.
I understand he's a wide receiver, but leave him alone.
Coming into camp or once the 53 is out?
No, just give me the 4 that you're like, these are the guys that I want to see back here. If you only have 3, then give me the 3.
Wait, but in camp or in 53? Because that's
let's go 53 then. Let's go 53.
DeVonta, Lynn, and Preston.
You don't have a 4th.
Nah. I want 19. I want 19 off the team.
And you had DeVonta, Lynn, and Preston as well, right, Juan?
I also don't really consider Malcolm Perry a receiver, so there's a couple of these things.
The only reason I put a slash between Perry 19 and Wilson is because if we saw after 19,
and Albert Wilson. Wait, yes, Albert Wilson. Sorry,
if we saw once 19 went down, we saw who was returning punts, Malcolm Perry. So it's like
and Noah Granakini returning kicks.
So you see, like they already have the seed kind of planted. It just depends on who we sign with free agency. So I don't know if we want to take it there now or if you want to talk a little more about the.
I'll let Kai say this and then I'm gonna get mine.
So, bringing up this comment, can DeVonta Smith?
We'll get to that in draft talk.
I know, but I just have to bring it up right now as we're going into the free agency one. I want you guys to take a guess at the height and weight of Chad Johnson.
6 foot 185.
Yeah,
Michael?
I mean, he was. I think he was maybe a little bit. No, he wasn't very heavy. I'm gonna go with 6'1", 190.
6'1", 190, pretty much 188.
What's up?
He had what?
You guys are gonna pay me money now, right?
11,000 receiving yards.
I just got because I just won this bet, right? Was this a bet for money?
11,000 receiving yards.
And I'm glad I'm glad you used Chad Johnson and not the obvious Marvin Harrison because that would have been a whole different show with that one.
With the Dolphins receivers, like we'll just I'll finish it up. I think the thing with the Dolphins receiver room right now is that there's too much. There are too many guys in the receiver room that do other things, right? Like Matt Collins is a special teams ace. When he wasn't able to be a gunner on some of those punts, it really hurt the team, and that's when they started returning them, right?
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant gave us some really fantastic punt returns. There was a couple games. No, a touchdown maybe once a year, but he had a lot of returns where he got like 20, 30 yards.
For sure.
And that's what gave us good position, right? So you got to think about him coming back. And then Albert Wilson might be a good slot, but Albert Wilson's always hurt, right? He opted out this year, right? But he's usually hurt. So that's why for me,
that's why I go Smith-Schuster in free agency.
No, I go 5. I do the 5 and I do Parker, Williams, Lynn Bowden Jr., and then I keep Grant because I say his name even though I got lumped in.
Are you gonna pay 19 the rest of his 4 years, 19 million? That's so funny. 19 million, 4 years, 19. That's mind blowing. You're gonna pay. I mean, like in this season, he's gonna make 3.6, then 3.7, then 3.9. You're only now.
Who do we have returning stuff?
That's expensive.
No, I'm sure. Well, who's our returner?
Listen, that's expensive for someone that can't catch, bro. I know 6-year-olds that play flag football that can catch better.
Who is
than
our
19.
returner? You tell me right now who our returner.
Yo, you figure it out.
It would either be Wilson or it would be Malcolm Perry.
Okay, but then Wilson, I think gets more hurt than Jakeem.
Right, but you can always there's always options. I think if there's anything that we realize in the NFL is like you can turn over a position.
Well, then how much dead money is it if we cut him?
This is the out. The out is this season. 1.8 and it's done. That's it.
I mean, if we can find other guys, the one thing I swear if they do this, and we'll get to this in draft talk, but if they draft a Smith or Waddle and put them to return kicks, I'm going to be so mad.
I will personally go to Dolphins Stadium.
We'll get into that in a second because I just had that thought and it really upset me because they did that to Williams and now Williams' career might be messed up, but I'm not. Oh gosh, I'm mad.
Well, Preston got hurt because of Christian Wilkins.
No, but his first year, I'm saying his first year.
The first year for sure. I'm just saying this year that was Anyways, free agent wide receivers.
Juan, you seemed really excited about this one.
Yeah, because I have a list, right? So I have a not touch list.
He has a list. Wow, fancy.
So I have a not touch list. I have a maybe, and then I have my targets. So
this is a list of receivers as well that are just kind of free agents this year. Just starting it up.
So I'm not touching A-Rob. I'm not touching him for 84 mil. with 52 guaranteed and 21 mil a year. Like he liked that post because that's just out of hand for me.
Wait, who
right?
had 22? Wait, who? Sorry.
They're talking about Allen Robinson.
Yeah, so
22.
A-Rob was he liked the post where it was projected that he would get 84 mil from us, 52 guaranteed, which broke down to like 21.2 mil a year, which I found to be a little high, right? AJ for me, AJ wins too long in the tooth. I kind of want to see the young guys kind of develop more. Watkins, I've never been a fan of Sammy. I feel like for what you have to pay him, you don't get the
production. In Buffalo. I don't want him.
Yeah, we'll go with that. My maybes, right? So my maybe Ty. I like Ty because you know he's a speed guy, or he was.
Guy.
He's a Miami guy. Maybe he take a little bit of a pay cut because he's not gonna get 14 mil down here, right? This maybe is kind of my most exciting one, just because I personally love Godwin. I feel like he's one of my favorite receivers in the NFL. He's a young guy. My biggest scare with him though is kind of like that Sue effect, to where we're kind of outbidding ourselves, which it's kind of dumb if you think about it, because as far as tax purposes, pretty much compared to anywhere else, he's gonna get more money down here. And then my
Texas, like Dallas.
I will say Godwin's got a case of the dropsies lately too, though.
He did. He got
a little bit of that Pittsburgh Steeler fever, like
he did. But my personal target, and the one we have to get, in my opinion, is Marvin Jones. Because just because that guy, it feels like he wants to come down here. And I was reading this article, and I'm gonna read it to you guys, right? So look,
he's so excited about this.
This is what he said. He says this time Jones is reassessing his priorities before hitting the open market. He goes, quote, "You look at different teams, you look at the needs of the teams," Jones said via Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. "Maybe this time around you look for different things in terms of what you want and how I want to finish my career. I pretty much will do the same thing that I did last time, but this time will be more about other things." So I think that's going to be the situation, and I'm excited to get there. On top of all the posts that he's liked, I feel like if we're going to keep 6 receivers, I told you my 4, he would be my 5th, and I would want to draft a 6th.
And Marvin Jones is 30 years old, and Spotrac has him at a market value of about $9.5 million a year, which is affordable.
Yeah, I'd probably throw him like 8 and be like, bro, the taxes, you're gonna be cheap, you'll be good down here. You got the beef.
You're always trying to scheme people out of money, man.
Bro, ABC, bro, always be selling.
Wait.
Listen, that's how it is. That's the saying. Yes. Always be selling.
Can't even speak English. But okay, I will say this about Marvin Jones. Would we all be this excited about Marvin Jones and banging the table for him if he didn't like all those posts? Right? Like I mean,
Marvin Jones is also not.
No, he's 30. He's okay.
He's always good for one game out of the year to score 3 touchdowns, bro. And I can't name a single player on our team that does that. So for me, I'm like,
what? Sorry.
So Marvin Jones has one game every single year where he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns every single year.
Okay, so we're gonna sign a guy for one game?
Damn right.
No.
that one game could have came against Buffalo. It could have came against Seattle. It could have came against Buffalo earlier in the year.
And that happens because it was Matt Stafford. And when Matt Stafford gets a guy, he gets locked in, and that's all he looks for. Tua is the last guy to force it into a guy a bunch.
I'm just telling you that veteran presence. Veteran presence. He'll come in. He'll teach the young guys how to line up. And kind of get them going.
Yo, listen, Marvin Jones is a consistent touchdown, 76 receptions, 978 yards, 9 touchdowns. Last year, 9 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns in 2017, and then 4, 4, and 5.
But hey, I think Parker could grab those receptions if we just threw him the ball in the red zone better.
I just have memories of against the Chiefs, so I don't know.
Okay, Kai, any names that he didn't mention, or any of the names that he mentioned that you're just like, we got to do it?
Look, there isn't anything that is like you got to do it. Like I say Juju just to mess with the fan base, because I think that everyone hates Juju Smith-Schuster just around the league.
I love Juju more now that everybody hates him. It's like the weirdest thing.
I don't think that he I personally another thing. I want the Ravens to get just their doors blown off in the playoffs. Just like I wanted to, there's certain things that when you're being too cocky and you haven't really done anything yet, that's a whole different story.
Kai's so emotional about football.
I mean, listen, you're gonna like, all right, just a quick tangent here, right? Like with the Juju stuff and then the Ravens stomping on the logo, like I get that, the whole get your bike back, whatever. Like, and even oh my god, what's his name? Chase Claypool going out and saying what he said after the fact. He's on live stream on TikTok in his room saying, "Oh yeah, bad loss, but they're gonna get wiped by KC."
Yeah, they're gonna get lose anyway, or yeah. But all right, Kai, but let me ask you, bro, because all these old heads.
If you're gonna talk that talk, you gotta walk that walk. That's my thing.
So then saying that Juju had 13 catches, 150 yards in a touchdown.
Oh no, I'm not taking any shots at Juju. I'm not taking any shots at Juju. I'm cool with Juju.
And I posted that on a couple of the sites that were trashing him, and I got destroyed. Oh, that was.
It's because they don't like the TikTok.
My thing is like, okay, well, Juju didn't let 28-0 go. He wasn't the one that throwing, a snap 9 feet in the air. So realistically, is it his fault that he had to help?
Let's not act like Jarvis Landry doesn't do stuff like that too, right? Like Jarvis Landry may not be as big into TikTok and a specific dance, but Jarvis is kind of that guy too.
We have a Power Ranger on our team. Yeah. We have an anime character.
Christian Wilkins talks a lot.
All that stuff about it's not Flores, this type of guy. I don't see it, man. I don't.
No, I do say it just to like mess with some people because I think that a lot of people are like really against. Look, personally, I don't know why. I think like Juju has had down years. I think a lot of they're even like Steeler fans.
Juju is not better than Lynn Bowden Jr. Okay, no, Mike, can I send you that tweet that I posted? Because I specifically broke down the last game where Lynn Bowden had the same exact, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Kai, but he had the exact same game script, down big early, had 12 targets, and had 4 catches for 44 yards?
Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Juju had 19 targets.
You're defending Juju so much. You're trashing LBJ, who
you know what? I'm this close to getting an interview with him, but I'm not. That irked me. That really
getting an interview with who?
With LBJ.
Not anymore.
I know, not anymore.
Bro, what?
Out the window.
Jay Holla came. Thank you. You just
Jay Holla, it got me hot.
Okay, I've never seen Juan like that. It's weird.
Anyway, so there isn't a specific guy. I was just gonna prove out until chat was a little. Chat's been a little, but like, what's it called? Chat's calling for OBJ. I don't.
I wouldn't mind it for a third.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't mind
the thing. For a third, I wouldn't mind. The thing is, like, with there's so many unknowns.
Second round pick, I'll do it too.
Yeah, because even that, like, there's just so many unknowns with certain things. Like, everything's unknown, obviously. But even the unknown with, like, Marvin Jones, there's an unknown there. An unknown with Juju, an unknown with OBJ. Like, OBJ is just the one where it's just, like, are they going to trade him? Like, will they? Like, what if Donovan Peoples-Jones doesn't play good next year? Like, there's so many things where it's like, what if this stuff doesn't happen? And then you trade OBJ, and then OBJ goes and has a great year with another team, but you're going to be pissed. And then if we don't trade for him and then that happens, like let's say it's like, oh, the Dolphins are in the mix and he goes to a different team and he balls out, then we'll be pissed. Like there's just so many things that I think like can't.
But OBJ is just a completely different conversation because he's not available, right? He's not on the market.
He probably is.
No, but it would have to be a trade, right? So we got to talk about guys that we could actually.
But you're not going to get much like that. Probably wasn't like a great trade on the Browns side of things, just because. Not that he wasn't a culture guy, but
we're gonna get you your boy. We're gonna get that LSU vibe. And
what was the Andrew Hard Knocks quote? What did he say?
The weakness or what was it?
Yeah,
I know what you guys are talking about. I can't.
It's weakness to miss practice. It's weakness to be hurt.
That was the best. Hey, listen, a name I'm gonna throw out that I would go for: Corey Davis out of Tennessee.
He's young. I like it. I'm scared that he's gonna think that he deserves more money than he does because he's been super.
Didn't get his fifth round option taken or his 5th year option. Sorry, taken.
That's really easy. You want more money? Go somewhere else.
Well, that's what they did with Conklin, and then they missed Conklin this year. So
Conklin would have been.
No, but I'm saying like as the Dolphins, right? As the Dolphins,
right?
You want this kind of? We're giving you this. You want more money? That's too bad. I just think he's 26 years old. You compare him with Tua, I think that's pretty good, right? A guy like Marvin Jones does help, but then I think about a guy like Marvin Jones, and I'm like, he might have an Amendola-like impact with the Dolphins, right? When we got Amendola, I think Marvin Jones is better than him, right?
Yeah.
But I want young people. I want a young team. If I'm gonna,
you do need a veteran there.
Yeah, like that's my only tidbit. We eventually, like, as much as we want to continue to have
AJ Green, because I can get AJ Green for cheaper than I can get Marvin Jones.
But my thing with AJ, right, is looking at it at what situation he was in with the Bengals. He didn't seem so happy to have a bunch of young receivers nipping at his butt. He didn't seem so happy to have to be dealing with growing pains with a rookie quarterback.
He's gonna learn to deal with it. But if I can sign AJ Green for about $5 to $6 million a year, as opposed to paying Marvin,
no way you're getting him that low.
Yeah,
no way.
Who's gonna pay him? Who's gonna pay him?
You'll sign a 1 year.
It's the same reason why they're saying that Juju might get like $19 million or something.
I think we have to see. I don't think it'll be as hot for AJ Green as a lot of people think.
I don't think so, but I think like the biggest thing that we can all think of is like Heisman Trophy winners coming to Miami. So like, you know, I think we just gotta remember that.
But okay, so then we're talking about DeVonta Smith, who has played amazing. DeVonta Smith is probably
look at that man. Look at how happy he is in that stadium. Look at that.
He looks at home. What do you guys think? 16 or 86?
16 or 86?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm not drafting him.
I kind of mess with 16. I don't like 86.
I don't have 86. A problem. I don't have a problem with DeVonta Smith. I think he's great. He's
transitioned.
I lean Waddle.
Ooh.
I lean Waddle. I think Waddle is shorter, but Waddle's got a bigger frame.
They're about the same height.
I would say he's listed at 5'10", right? He's got a thicker frame though. I think he high points the football better than DeVonta Smith does. Right, I think he does a little bit more in terms of like an all-around wide receiver game than DeVonta Smith. And I think Waddle comes at a better rate as opposed to getting DeVonta Smith with the 3rd overall pick. And then you're just kind of stuck there, right? So I think you take that 3rd overall pick, I trade down to 7 or 8, and then I pick one of Smith or Waddle, whichever one's available. But I don't know, 3 for Smith is really high, and I kind of prefer.
But here's the thing. Don't you want to – so everyone always says that – the draft is all about, it doesn't matter where you get your guy, you get your guy. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you evaluate them. Like we had picks that were reaches in this past draft that worked out. So it's like, it doesn't matter where you
some that didn't.
Yeah, of course. That's always how it is.
Cornerback at the end of the first round.
Yeah. But well, again, you have to give him. Here's the thing. All right. Here's I don't want to be like a Noah truther because I'm not. I'm an ex-truther. I've always been an ex-truther since he got drafted. But you have to give Noah Igbenogany the same pass that you give Tua if you want to say rookie season. That's just my opinion.
Oh, I don't actually have. Hold on. I don't actually have a problem with Igbenogany as a player. My one thought process is
who we skipped over.
Could have gotten that.
Yeah, we skipped. The one that I wanted was
Antonio Gibson.
Didn't we?
Jonathan Taylor.
Was Hilaire drafted before or after Igbo?
He was drafted after. He was 32.
We literally skipped every running back in the draft.
This
is one of the best running back draft classes of all time. That's what I'm saying. That was my
Antoine Winfield. That's who I wanted at 30. When they traded up, I was hoping that they were going to select Antoine Winfield.
He was a good safety too. He played really good for the
season with Tampa Bay. So that's the one thing. I get the idea of get your guy wherever you.
I'm just saying, like you want to do that. Like you attack and you get your guy where you want to get them. Like if let's say there really was a chance that Okudah wasn't going to go 3 and Detroit was going to move out, like then you trade up and get your guy. And people still would have probably been upset if they had done that because they would have said, you know, even with people so happy that we got Tua and all the videos and all the everything like that, it was like we still had the question mark: is he playing in 2020?
Sure,
or is he playing in 2021?
But I'll give you this scenario then, right? Let's say I give you 2 options, and you think of those 2 options, the difference is negligible, right? Like you take either of the 2, and I can tell you can take one right now of either of those 2, or you can go back, have one of the 2, whichever one is just chance. And then get another piece that might also be really good, whether it's another first-round pick next year. Or
I see your point.
But it depends. I mean, look, there is a good chance that you can get that.
I don't think the gap between Waddle and Smith is the first pick.
Yeah. So my question to you guys is, does Tua not necessarily have a say like Watson wants, but do we take his opinion into this? Because my thing with the number 3 overall pick, especially when it comes to really any player, but especially with wide receiver, you kind of want to be like wowed with everything. Like you don't want to have to give excuses at the number 3 overall pick, right? And not that we're giving excuses to DeVonta, but as far as the size right now, he does look slim. And
that's not an indictment. Like, he could bulk up.
He could come in and gain 10, 15 pounds in the next 2 years, and this is a mute subject, because one of the things that I saw a lot of, and again, I don't really watch a lot of college football, but that one game against Ohio State, nobody could press him. Nobody could touch him.
Moved him around a lot for that reason, though.
So for me, I never once saw him really get stuck or see anybody even really put up a much of a fight, to be honest. So it's kind of tough, because you want to mix in production with potential, but then you also have like that old school way of thinking of, okay, well, what's his height, weight, speed? And he probably will test good with the speed, but the height and the weight was probably gonna kind of hurt him if he does go to the combine. Just because I've seen pictures of him next to Tua, and Tua and him are listed at 6'1", or were listed at 6'1", right? And Tua was 6 foot. So it could be he comes a little shorter. So my question to you, Mike, is, okay, so let's say we do trade down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we go, because it could be Chase too. I mean, Chase could be there too.
I think we all forget that, like, just because Jamar Chase didn't play this year, I think you do have to, like, you forget, like, the dude was dominant in the SEC last year.
He's great, but I think there's a pretty sizable gap from Smith and Waddle to Chase.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't watched too many games. No.
The thing is, what I've seen with Chase is that he does everything good, but the one thing that he excels in is like tough catches, high point, contested balls. Which if we have DeVonta, I mean, we want to get Allen Robinson. Apparently, I mean, how many of these Preston? I mean, can we really?
Wasn't there a chance to trade for Allen Robinson too? And we were still saying, like, why would you make that trade? Like, even earlier in the year, like after that Jacksonville game, everyone was like, free A-Rob, and was like, but why? Like, I think I distinctly remember the 3YPC guys even going on and saying, why are you going to trade for DeVonta Parker too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, DeVonta Parker Jr.
This is a deep enough class that you can get guys in a lot of places, right? With Jamar Chase.
Kadarius Toney.
No, I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't know.
He's a rapper. He's a rapper and singer.
There's something about Kadarius that I just don't buy into, and I really think it's that nasty orange and blue he has on his helmet. That just
bro, don't lie. It's that UF PTSD. I can't name a good UF receiver.
Name one.
I can't either. I'm not.
Exactly. I can't with him.
I think though I don't think that Trevon Grimes is going to be some dominant like NFL player. I think that he has a skill set that could be developed really well in the NFL.
Like the best wide receiver that Florida's putting out this year is Kyle Pitts.
True,
because he's not a tight end.
He isn't. Well, he's going to do the same thing Gesicki did. That's why I've seen so many Dolphins fans go draft Kyle Pitts, and it was like, we literally have Kyle Pitts. Why would we draft Kyle Pitts?
Another name, like I'm fine with Waddle, so I'm on the team of trade down. Granted, if you can't trade down and guarantee one of those,
if a team
three.
Yeah, if a team said, like, let's say Detroit, like Detroit has always been the one, like every mock draft sim I've done, it doesn't matter what website, it's always been like, if I can trade down with Detroit, and as we were talking about before, how we were saying before we even started, all right, Philly, take your pick. You pick one, I'll take the other. And think about Detroit, like let's say that, which there's the rumors, but I know Rap Sheet and another, it might have been another insider, it might have been Pelissaro as well, had come out and said like that the Matthew Stafford stuff is not really like substantial. It's kind of just like, who knows if it's actually going to happen? What if the new coach that comes in actually wants him there? But if they don't, and Detroit says, we'll give you a first next year and swap or whatever other stuff, you know, there's always random stuff within those to get 3 because the Jets either take Sewell or they take someone else. Then like,
I think quarterback market is going to go nuts. And so that's why I say, if the Jets take a,
there's so many teams that need a QB.
Somebody's going to get nuts and be like, we got to trade up with the Dolphins to make sure we get our guy. So that's the place where I'm like, I think.
So are we going to play poker and say we're going to take a quarterback too and play coy, or what do you guys think?
They already said they're not.
Like, I think like just think about the teams though that could possibly need a quarterback this year. Like trades are going to happen, all of their stuff. So we might see guys like Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz moved. Although didn't Wentz come out and say that like
from like number 4 until like number 12, I think every team could make an argument for a quarterback.
Atlanta, Philly,
Yep.
Detroit,
Yep.
Carolina, Denver,
Yep.
New York, San Fran,
Yep.
Minnesota, New England, Vegas, Washington,
16,
Chicago,
17,
Indy,
18.
Pittsburgh at 24.
I'm looking at a mock draft right now that somebody did with, the Draft Network. They have the Dolphins trading out of the number 3 pick with the Panthers, right?
That's like 8, right?
Yeah, 8.
Right? Because they've got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. We trade back. We receive the 8th overall pick, the 72nd, and a 2022 first round pick, which if it's with a team like the Panthers where they get Zach Wilson, that 2022 pick is probably going to be fairly high again, right? You could be
40s, yeah.
5 to 10 or 10 to 15, right? 5 to 15 range. We trade down to 8. They actually have us taking Jalen Waddle, number 8 overall. Jamar Chase goes at 6, and Smith is still on the board until 11 at the Giants.
Oh, that would be such a steal for Daniel Jones and the Giants. Oh my God.
Daniel Jones, what is he going to hit? He's going to.
I'm just saying that would be again, but we were saying that about Josh Allen. Like this is something
you
have to remember.
Josh Allen never tripped and looked unathletic. Like
Josh Allen couldn't hit.
Oh, but come on, give him some credit. He was already 60 yards downfield when he tripped.
Josh Allen couldn't hit a wide open receiver in the end zone.
You don't trip that close to the touchdown.
Bro, he got scared. He ran out of gas and he started looking around. He was like, I should not be running for this long. Somebody's going to tackle me.
There are a couple names that I'd look at for later rounds, right?
I like Bateman.
Tylan Wallace from Oklahoma State. I watched him in the bowl game against Miami.
He's good.
When he was on the field, granted, Miami's defense isn't great, but there was nothing we could do about him.
Olave too.
Olave is good, but he's going to go probably early second round or mid second round.
He'll go second round. Yeah.
A late round guy that I'd look at too is Sage Surratt out of Wake Forest. I know that Chris Hoffman is a huge fan of his. I haven't actually seen it yet. I've just seen a couple highlights here or there, but he does look like a good maybe 4th or 5th round pick. So that's another name to look out for.
It's just
I like Rondell Moore too. That you put him on there too. I like how he plays too. He's more of a shiftier guy, which I think we should probably be more leaning towards getting.
But Rondell Moore Rondell Moore's 5'9", 175.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another small guy, right?
19.
So if we're worried about,
but that's more so of like what Mike was saying with Waddle. I agree with that idea of where I feel like speed is what we need, and speed is what we should be prioritizing. And that's the
speed kills. Look at the Chiefs.
Okay, but I think Smith is faster than Waddle.
No.
I don't know.
Smith might have him in the 100-meter. I think 3 yards per carry was talking about that. I think Smith might have him in the 100-yard on the 100-meter, but in the 40-yard dash, we're going to see Waddle.
And I
4.24, 4.22.
Much better too is yards after catch, and yards after catch. That's because he broke tackles.
And let me just say too, I also want to give a lot of credit for Waddle. He was. I don't think he was more than 70% healthy for that championship game. And
bro, what he was like 40% healthy.
Bruh,
I think we just lost Juan. Juan's gone. I'm gonna remove him. Can we just keep that face? Actually,
of course.
I'm gonna remove.
Just wait. No, how do I wait? How do I do it?
Much. I think Waddle. First of all, him being out there was insane. What did he have the same ankle surgery as Tua? Didn't he? With like the tightrope stuff.
I don't remember exactly. I do want to bring this up though because it's something to mention, especially when you said.
Oh, sorry.
Damn. Especially when you said UF wide receivers, Demarcus Robinson right now with the Chiefs, just so you know.
I never
the best name you've got. Bro, I'll give you
oh my god.
Reggie Wayne. Get out of here, UF.
When was the last time you were relevant? 2001. Anyways, listen.
Either all relevant in that matter.
So, like with the speed kills stuff, like again. Look at the Chiefs. Speed kills. Like it's
Tyreek Hill,
Miko Hardman, Tyreek Hill, CEH. Like,
well, and a lot of scout people are comparing Waddle more to Tyreek Hill than DeVonta Smith.
Dude, if you can get me Tyreek Hill right now out of this,
but hold on. But then we're gonna
go like comps though. I don't like draft comps. I want to make that clear.
Get Jalen Waddle, and what we're gonna expect is Tyreek Hill.
That's why I don't like those comps.
So that's a dangerous game.
And also, just so we're also in agreement, because I mentioned it with DeVonta not getting off the press, and Mike, you actually mentioned a good point that the OC for Alabama did a good job of scheming them open and giving them creative looks and things like that. That's also kind of going to have to tie in because we're going to need an OC who's going to be able to get Waddle, in space and in jets and boots and rollouts and all that stuff.
And we can't expect them to be like super dominant next year. Like we have to remember that. Like,
no, okay. I don't know if I'm going to be dominant, but I expect progress.
You expect progress. I mean, we can't. The
just get 180-yard play or 170-yard play completed.
The only time anybody broke a tackle was on that one Las Vegas against the Raiders,
and that was the running back.
The other longest play was Gesicki against the Niners on a long pass, and he got caught from behind because the dude runs as fast as I do. Like,
it was a 70-yarder for Gesicki as well. Like, that was his longest reception of the year.
We'll start.
Who would be both of those if 19 would have came on?
We'll start wrapping up because we're at 55 minutes. We usually try to do it around an hour.
Thank you, Mike.
I think this is the wrap up from today's OC and wide receiver talk. Is this? If they're interviewing offensive coordinators, I need them to come in with a plan, right? Yeah. I need them to come in and say, this is my plan with Tua. This is what he did well and what I'm going to have him do more of. These are the guys that I want to look for in free agency and the draft that can make things happen. That's what I want to see an outline in their interview. Granted, I won't be there because the Dolphins don't know who I am. But if I was, they asked me for the defensive side. I'm more of a defensive guy, so that's what happened. Yeah,
I'm special team, so we'll each take turns.
They need to get a guy that knows what he's doing and has a plan for this team, right? And so if Tua says, right, if you got to build around Tua because Tua's our guy. If Tua says, I want Smith, not Waddle.
Tua's our guy. What do you mean?
Hey, listen, that's a whole other conversation. I don't think he's going to get traded.
I'm kidding.
If Tua says Smith's our guy, you go get Smith. And I don't think either of us are going to be upset about it. If he says Waddle's my guy, go get Waddle. We get Waddle. None of us are going to be upset about it.
If he tells me I want Chase, I'll go get you Chase, bro.
The three, that's the thing. All three of them are good options, which puts it's one of those things that I think in the wrap up as well. It's like whoa. Okay, I'm glad that we both clicked it. I'm glad we both clicked it at the same time. Whoa.
This was the same guy earlier with Lim Biden and
so we need to have a Juan versus Jay segment.
We're gonna have to bring him in
next week, bro. We'll highlight you so you can just fight Juan. Like this team has a ways to go, and what I think is most exciting about this offseason is
they asked me if I had lights. I do have lights.
I have one string of lights. This offseason is a way for us to cut out any excuses. There cannot be any excuses next year for why Tua didn't succeed because of his weapons or whatnot. If you don't get him weapons this offseason, you've failed as a general manager and as a coach. Yep. People want to be here. We're on the up. If you can't figure that out, that's on you. So, I mean, it's looking good for the Dolphins. Next week, I think we're planning on doing more positions. We haven't figured out what positions yet. We're probably going to do 2, maybe running back.
We're going to be busy. We're in the playoffs right now, so we're going to be busy.
Watching other teams do the things that we'd like to do.
No, we're in the playoffs. What are you talking about?
But I think next week we're going to do our first mock draft too, so we'll do that live on here. So the three of us will decide. We'll argue about the picks and why it should be one or the other. So I hope that Jay Ahala Kane comes back just to tell Juan he's wrong. Let's do it. Hey, Pinsock wants running back and tight end. I mean, I think I'd like to do
we could probably do defense and then the next week do running back, tight ends.
I think running back and the defense.
Also, I know we've been kind of working on it, but we haven't set anything in stone. But I do have the clearance from Ethan to do our giveaway. So let's just try to work on it. So by next Wednesday, we could probably announce it and get that rolling.
Nice. And I know that Clutch just did a giveaway for Clutch Corner. He mentioned it yesterday. He's going to give a number, one number every 5 episodes. Not every 5 episodes. For the next 5 episodes, whoever sends them to him first gets a gift card. So we'll do something like that. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to check out 3 Yards Per Carry podcast, which is out. I believe it's out. And if it's not out, it'll be out later tonight. And also a new 5 on the Floor to get all of your Harden news. I know that Kai is the biggest Harden fan you've ever met. I mean, he bought his jersey back when he was with the Thunder. So if you have questions about Harden, but no, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll keep trying to give you guys good content, and we'll keep picking on Kai and telling them that they're wrong. So Appreciate all you guys being here, and fins up.
Deuce.